exciting. Even standing on the bank, it scares me to look at them.
Yeah, when you nail them, it's certainly exciting, yeah.
Well, it's the best, it's the ultimate, eh? Just the sound gets the crowd going.
Awesome and exhilarating.
You make one mistake and you can end up dead.
The aim is to go out here and do some serious racing today.
No thoughts, but just to win. Beat all the other big boys out there with me.
I sold chainsaws, I sold drills, I sold everything to keep running. Got the better of me.
I can't describe it in one word, but it's like sitting in a chair, someone's hosing you with a hose and you're just tearing up $100 notes. It's just nothing like it.
Powerboat racing in Australia is amongst the fastest that you'll find in the world. Now, whether it be any of the hydroplane classes, through to the displacement classes, but many say that the ultimate in speed and adrenaline are the bad boats. They are the blown alcohol displacements. Racing is fast, unpredictable, and very, very loud. A natural reaction when you mix alcohol and methanol fuel into an engine producing around about 1800 horsepower. Travelling at speeds in excess of 250 kilometres an hour on water. Well, that can be best described as unpredictable. So what draws these men to the water?
There's nothing like it. The acceleration, the noise, just the awesome buzz of it all. You know, the crowd, they love it. They love the noise. I think that's, you know, what it's all about. It's more or less like a 350 sit on a surfboard, really. Like, it's just awesome power. You've got to be able to try to keep the boat on the water, not hold it down because it'll talk over. You've got to try to balance the thing and get it right. And it's just, you know, it's just not as easy as anyone. Well, it's definitely not as easy as it might look to some people, but there is a real finesse in it, I think.
We used to run smaller classes. We started off in 6 litre and gradually worked our way up into this class. When, as far as I'm concerned, it's the unlimited. It's probably one of the best adrenaline pumping things in what I've found so far in boat racing, the acceleration of it. There's no problem with rules or regulations of sizes of engines, so you just virtually go out and run what you bring, and the best one on the day wins, sort of thing. There's not too much bitching about rules.
I always thought I'd start up with a 4.2, 5.2 or 6 litre, but I just like a blown boat, like a lot of other people do. They seem to perform a lot better. They certainly give the crowd a bit of a thrill when they're racing correctly, and that's the way that I wanted to go in my boat racing career. As I said, I only drive in drags now and again. Stewie, he's a pro, so he drives it in the circuit racing. A normal carburetor boat will probably run in a 6 litre, probably about 100 miles an hour. Where these blown things, they can get up to 130, 140 miles an hour. So there's a big difference. Bigger this, bigger that, bigger heads, bigger Maggie, all comes into consideration up against a normally aspirated engine. That's the whole thing.
My father was one of the early pioneers of blown boat racing in Australia. He was back in the early 70s, used to run a Sanger flat bottom boat with supercharged 427 Chevy in it, and you know, there was no other way for us to go, was it? I love close racing. I don't like to go out there if you're running against slower boats. I'd rather run against the best that there can be.
Yeah, well, I'm 45 years old now. I've been doing it since I was 17, so yeah, a major part of my life. And yeah, one would say I'm a rev head. I'm getting old, but I still refuse to grow up. What people have got to understand, we spend a lot of money, we spend a lot of time doing this, we enjoy doing this, and the people that come through the gate and the spectators and that buy our t-shirts and hats and everything that follow us around, they're the people we do it for. We do it for ourselves, but they're the people, they support us, the money through the gate and everything helps with the prize money. I suppose you might say an entertainer, a show-off, or just someone having a lot of fun.
It's pretty awesome, really. It's you got about 1,500 to 1,800 horsepower, and it just these boats can sort of wheel stand for half a kilometre down the track, and it's just a lot of fun.
It's something that I rather enjoy quite immensely, and I've always worked on the principle that you can start the race and finish the race, and a win's a bonus. So, basically that's the way I approach it. It's not hard to see why the people come along in thousands to watch the blown boats, because they are the ultimate.
It's something that most people will never experience, and I really don't care whether it's Group A racing, motorbike racing, sprint car, sedans. When you go to make a comparison, normally at a racetrack with cars or bikes, you're doing the same thing every time, lap after lap. With these big things, every time you go out in every straight, it is different. So you've got to drive. It's a driver, not just the boat. It's a combination. If you were to jump in a jumbo jet and you're going to America or something, and he revs the engines up and it drives you back in the seat, that's nothing. The blown boat is better than that.
Had a few ski boats and then wanted to go faster and faster, so I basically went straight to an alcohol thing. I didn't come through the ranks and went straight to that. You sort of, your adrenaline starts basically 2 or 3 weeks before, sort of before the meeting, and it's pretty exciting.
Always been involved in boats. My father used to take me and my brother down to the boat races when my mum went to church on a Sunday, so we sort of got to liking it from that. And it's just good, fast, close racing, and most of the guys, well, nearly all the guys, I'd say, are good drivers. They all know each other, and there's good camaraderie there. And it's just a good class to be in.
I ran 6-litre carburetted for 9 or 10 years, and I loved it. I went in every race I could. If they let us step up a class, I'd go in it, and always wanted to be in the big boys. It doesn't matter where you come in the field. If you're out there, it's exhilarating. It is so easy to make a mistake. One little hiccup, and it can be avoiding someone else, or I've had a couple of little bingles recently, and we want to forget all those.
It's unbelievable. When you stand on the gas, you really know there's something. It's like a rocket. It's like a rocket ship. It's probably the closest race I believe in the world, and it's a lot of fun, and the crowd really loves it.
The worst swim was when I had an engine fail, and full speed, back straight, locked up. The boat took a nosedive, threw me over the front. I thought that might have been all over, but fortunately the water was calm and I skidded forever and come out of it all right. That was probably my biggest one, I would say. I've had a couple of losers in corners over the years, but I guess when it sort of happens, it's not a scare at the time. It's afterwards when you think about it and look back on it. Henry, when he threw a blade and turned in front of me, well, that was just a big wall of water. I didn't sort of realise how close it was until I looked back on video, but that was a big one. But I would say coming out of the boat at full speed, straight line, that'd have to be the worst.
Dargle along the banks of the Hawkesbury River in Sydney is the meeting place this year for the best bad boats in Australia. They've gathered to contest the most sought-after trophy in unlimited displacement racing. That is, of course, the Marge Watson Trophy. Thousands of spectators line the shores to see the best battle it out for this prized honour.
This is like the pinnacle of the sport, this meeting. So you made the grade and even make the final. Like, you know, you're really like a champion amongst yourselves. Like, because there were 16 blown boats in it this weekend. You know, and it's virtually every boat in Australia that's running is here. So if you can do well, you know you're one of the best in the country.
The Mark Lewins and Tony Walsh loose cannon team are the defending champions of the Marge Watson Trophy.
Well, we go out, it's around the Australian Championships this morning. We go out, we've changed the tune up in the boat a little bit. We go out and we use that as a bit of a test bench for the first heat of the Marge Watson, and then hopefully we don't have a hiccup and we qualify and we just do our best. You look at this racing here and the spectators are fortunate enough to see, they're seeing the best in the world. This is better than what you see in America, better than the flat bottoms. This is faster, it's harder and tighter racing. So I think bad boats are just, they're the best. My engine's a 540 cubic inch engine. It's a Merlin block, Crow rod, Lunati crankshaft. It's got Rodex cylinder heads from Sonny Lennon, 1471 blower and MSD ignition in it, ProMag 12 amp MSD ignition.
The loose cannon team will need to work hard to keep the title this year, folks. 15 of the best blown boats in the country have arrived to relieve them of the trophy.
Basically, the engine combination goes a bit like this. It's 400 cubic inches, 4 1/8 bore. It's got my own designed and manufactured aluminium cylinder heads, dual spark plug cylinder heads, dual magnetos, Super Mag 5s. It's got all the necessary ingredients in it, you know, Crow cranks, Crow rods, Jassel belt drives, all that sort of stuff. I guess, you know, fabricated aluminium intake manifolds, screw blower, running 80% overdrive on the blower. There's, you know, 70% overdrive in the gearbox, running a 15.5 pitch prop. So that'll give you a bit of an idea on what it's all about.
We run a combination of 3 engines, 440 with a Hampton 871 blower, sorry, with a Hampton 1471 blower, and a 540 and a 514, ranging to an 871 blower on those. So keeps us off the streets. I think if we can just be there at the end of the day, we lost an engine yesterday, but it's just a matter of if we can hold it together today. We're not the fastest boat, nowhere near it, and we're well and truly aware of that, but I think if we can just hang on to the end of the day and get a few seconds and thirds, we'll be laughing.
Yeah, you can't beat the blown boats. They're a bit of a pain to keep going, but the adrenaline when you're in them, it's certainly pays off. This motor's my motor. I didn't wet Barry's motor, it's my motor. It's Pontiac heads, PSI blower. It's 510 cubic inch, basically a Chevy bottom end. The way I figured, if you've got the boat out of the water, you've got the throttle flat, the cab plate off, you've got to be going further forward faster. So, and I'm used to driving outboards.
Run a 510 cubic inch big block with a 1471 high helix hand blower on it, producing around 1800 horsepower. Really goes.
As with any top racing, things do go wrong.
Yeah, we had a pretty hectic day. We came here with a lot of ammunition and we thought we'd be right, but unfortunately the first race saw my engine break a new cam follower, so that put us out. In the last lap, lost the blower belt and it hurt the engine. We came back in then and had an engine change, put Mark's engine in. Things get pretty hectic because we've only got like 40 minutes between the race, so we had to change, put a fresh engine in. We had a problem then with an oil pressure line was leaking, and it blew a Welsh plug out of the engine, which dumped all the water. And as we pick up from the river, it just was like sitting in a lake, sitting inside the boat. So we came back in and engine out again.
With only 40 minutes to the next race, the team must remove the damaged engine and fit the spare. Will they have enough time to make it to the finals?
I can drive if we have to. How do? What's that, right?
As the final heats eliminated all but the best, well, the tension in the pits was definitely building. Final draw came down to Tony Walsh in Loose Cannon, Brian McCOSKER's Liberty, Chevy Chase with Bob THURGAR behind the wheel, Troy Marland driving Pure Madness, and Chapter 4 with Nigel Agnew. Once more, the Loose Cannon team has taken the flag.
3 years in a row. I've tried to win it for 10 years, 8 or 10 years now. For the last 3 years, it's 3 in a row. It is absolutely fantastic. I'm so proud to be in the boat. I'm proud to be associated with these people. It's just absolutely fantastic. And I'm just going to take my hat off to the whole crew, the people all the people that work on the boat, especially this weekend, because as I said, we have had an absolutely treacherous weekend.